Now, here's the host of Good as Gold, Nick Grovich.
Hi, welcome to the show. Carl Ladas and Don Gause filling in for Nick today. He's actually over across the other side of the country from us, having there's a couple of big national coin shows going on over there, one in Florida and one in New York. So we hope he's over there having a lot of success and a lot of fun representing our clients. Couple of quick notes. We've got an upcoming seminar on February 10th. It's Wednesday at the Doubletree Resort in Scottsdale. Again, February 10th, it's from 1 to 4 in the afternoon, so we don't tie up your whole day. Call the office at 480-553-5282 or sign up on our website, americanfederal.com. We'd love to see you come out, and usually we have a lot of really good information on the coin markets as well as the bullion markets. As you heard in the newscast prior to the show, everything's kind of down today, pretty good. Gold, though, in the last couple of days been up. We had a supposed hydrogen bomb test in North Korea that a lot of people are attributing gold to being up because of that and the markets being down. And more importantly, today we had the Chinese stock market crash 7% in the first, that was less than a half hour. 30 minutes, yeah, the first 30 minutes of the open. And they automatically shut down the market, and we're kind of seeing that reflecting on
it also looks like they're going to further devalue their currency, which is helping gold go up a little bit. Speaking
of currency, the dollar was up. It was down to the euro today, but up pretty much against every other currency out there.
Yeah, the euro and the franc are the only thing it's down against.
Yeah, so right now gold's at 1109.60. Over the $1,100 mark. Silver's at over 14 at 14.32. Pretty big day in silver, up 33 cents. Platinum's holding at $8.77, and we've got palladium that's taking a beating, down $17 at $4.88 an ounce.
Carl likes to rub that in because I own a lot of palladium.
How many times, Don? We'd make a lot of recommendations that we consider solid recommendations to our clients, but that human factor, we're susceptible to it ourselves.
Yeah, you don't always take those recommendations for yourself.
So when are you going to sell, Don?
When it gets up to 900
again? All right, I'm going to call you on it. I'm going to yell at you through the wall. I've done a lot of business lately. It's sort of the end of the year was really kind of crazy for us. We had a lot of people, actually, I thought it was a pretty smart move, taking their profits out of the stock market and liquidating their coins that we were taking losses on to offset their gains. I thought that was a real, brilliant move. So we were extremely busy through the end of the year this past December. Still seeing a lot of people that are a lot of collectors that are getting rid of their stuff right now, and it seems every year we see more and more of it. These guys are getting older; they're up in their years. These are lifelong collectors. Some of it's really straightforward, some of it's really esoteric, very rare types of collections. But we're doing pretty well. We're having a good time at it. A lot of fun. We'll see what these two big shows, one in New York, one in Florida, we'll see what pans out there to kind of give us some direction for this year in coins. Speaking of which, didn't you have a new variety that was discovered with silver eagles or something?
Yeah, I mean, about a month ago, the last time I was on the show, I basically had a few people call in and say, can't you ever say anything nice about coins? Well, one of the things that Nick has always been trying to stress is we sell you bullion coins at bullion prices, and sometimes those coins turn into numismatic coins. And in the last couple of months, it just sold at auction in November. They found a new variety of a 1998 Silver Eagle, and what's going on there is it was actually made on the planchet that they make the modern commemorative dollars for, which is not a pure silver planchet. It's basically it actually has 0.77 ounces of silver in it, but they're pretty darn close to the exact same size, so it's not an easy thing to spot, especially if you own, rolls and rolls, or most of the time with a sealed box, we tell our clients not to open them up. Well, I think we're going to be opening 98 boxes.
Yeah.
They found one of these coins. Carl and I were looking at the size differential. It's pretty darn close. It's not an obvious thing. But they've only found one of these so far, whoever knew how they found it. But most people that buy Silver Eagles either keep the boxes sealed or they put their rolls away for pretty much ever, and or until they're ready to sell it. And I'll be honest, when I buy Silver Eagles, if it's a nice fresh roll, about all I do is open up and see what the date is, and then never take the coins out. So I can guarantee you, 1998 Silver Eagle, they just found it. This coin went for $50,000 at auction. Now, wouldn't it be nice if you have some Silver Eagles you bought back in 1998, and that's the first one I'm sure that more will come out of the woodwork at some point now that people know to look. But maybe it's a $30,000 or a $20,000, or heck, even if they find enough of them that it's only a $2,000 or $3,000 coin. Most of the people that bought that coin in '98 paid about $6 or $7 for it.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff we had a few years ago. We were all over our clients. We sold literally thousands of 1999 $5 gold Eagles for Y2K, and we found, I don't know how many we personally found, but I think it was more than a handful. It was probably over a dozen.
It was definitely more than, it was enough that we look at every roll
coin
of 99s that come in. And remember, there's 50 of them in a
there was a
roll.
variety in there, and they're going for, depending on how they grade out, between $500 and $1,000 for a tenth of an ounce of gold. So that's like getting $5,000 to $10,000 an ounce of gold, and we sold an awful lot of them in '99 for Y2K at $35 to $39 a coin. So you go 1 minute. So that's kind of fun. That's kind of fun with that stuff. Again, there's opportunities to buy things out there right now that are pretty rare coins that you can buy just like a bullion coin, or within a few percentage points of a bullion coin that maybe 10 or 15 years from now we'll be talking about those.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of silver, since we're kind of on the subject, our weekly website drawing winner was Ron in California. He won a Silver Eagle by guessing the closest to this close of gold on, I think it's Wednesday, Jen? Is that when it is? On Wednesdays. But you can get on our website. There's an awful lot of information on the website, folks. I mean, it's really good. It's constantly changing. We keep up with the markets and the trends. The website's www.americanfederal.com. Feel free to browse and take a look. I think you'll get a lot of information out of it. Looks like we're coming up on a break. Thanks for joining in, and we'll be back here shortly. Our phone number is 800-221-7694 or americanfederal.com. Thanks.
No, we still have 9 seconds left.
We could turn it up.
Give us a call if you have any questions anytime. Thank you.
Once again, here's Nick Grovich.
Hi, you've got Don Gause and Carl Ladas. Get back to a little bit of the collector coins. Nick's is at coin shows this week, and for the first time in probably 15 years, he's actually making some buy recommendations on rare coins. And a lot of when you buy a rare coin, one of the more important things is buying it at the right price. So one of the most important things you have out there is working with good dealers and understanding the actual value of coins, which can be pretty darn hard because most of the prices that you see out there are trying to pump up retail values and support pretty nice markups for coin dealers. I just watched a video this weekend from the ANA, the American Numismatic Association, and one of their educators from the ANA made a bold statement. He said, expensive coins only go up in value on his video. And I said, well, up from what? And that's the big problem, because if you really look at the trends, I mean, I can find rare coins that have gone down too, but the really, truly rare coins have done fairly well, but I only go up from what? I mean, I look at people all the time that they bought a truly rare coin and they're losing 30% on it, and it's gone up since they bought it, but their dealer, and it's not just the dealer. When you really want something, the dealers sort of hone in on it. Yeah. It's like if we start to recommend a coin, we can make the market go up without having bought very many coins.
It has to be. It's a targeted. When you're buying rare coins for part of a portfolio, you can find how many coins are out there that are extremely rare, but there's just no market for them. So you could buy a really rare coin.
Well.
and not have any buyers for it, what's it really worth?
Yeah,
you gotta be very careful.
And you look at auction, especially if you own these types of coins. A lot of times you think the best place to sell is at auction. Well, I was looking at some auction records, and I saw a $4 Stella. It's a really rare coin. It's a very neat coin. It's a beautiful coin. A lot of history.
Yeah,
If you love rare coins and you have a lot of money, it's a great coin to own. Well, a MS65 plus coin sold at auction recently for $188,000. And believe it or not, that guy probably got a really good deal on that coin at that auction price. There's coins for sale right now. There's a coin for sale for about in a lower grade for $210,000 retail. And that's kind of what Nick's trying to do at these auctions. He's actually got some client money that's interested in buying some high-end stuff, and he's looking for a coin like that just seems like it's a good deal because you need two people in the room to make the price go up at an auction, and sometimes there aren't two people in the room. Sometimes there's not even one person in the room, and you can get a great deal. Sometimes there's 5 or 6 guys that want it, and heaven help them for what they end up paying sometimes. But that's the nature of an auction. You just have to know what you're getting into when you go in the door.
Well, we actually know some dealers out there that make a living going to auctions and buying coins where there isn't that other guy in the audience bidding up stuff.
Well, yeah,
they can buy it. Usually, a lot of the common stuff goes for back of gray sheet.
And there was an article in the Coin Dealer newsletter about a year and a half ago, basically, that said that they couldn't understand why people were selling coins at auction because you could walk into a reputable dealer and get more money than you were realizing at auction.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's another one of those things. You can be penny wise and pound foolish. It's worth making sure you're dealing with people that are steering you in the right direction, and understand that everybody needs to make money to stay in business, but understand also that you want to work with people that have your best interest in mind, and be real careful with the guy that calls you with a deal on the phone that's just too good to be true. And I shouldn't say this because every once in a while I have a deal where I've got a couple guys interested and it doesn't last very long, but for the most deals you don't have to make a decision in 5 minutes to spend the money. You can do your homework.
One of my biggest complaints, so we do a lot of business. A lot of our clients we see we do a lot of deals that are $2,000, upwards of $10,000, $20,000. A lot of them very expensive, a lot of money involved. But the one thing that always gets me are the guys that buy, they'll spend $50,000 or $100,000, $200,000, and they think they own rare coins, and basically what they were sold were just common everyday stuff. It's the same coin the guy that owns 2 of bought, but you just bought 50 of them. It's just throwing away your money. I mean, those guys could probably, with that buying power, get into an actual rare coin and stand a chance. But unfortunately, everybody's kind of sold the same stuff by a lot of these big boiler room type brokerage houses.
I mean, my favorite is this modern coins, kind of the stuff I wouldn't mind you buying if you're interested in it and want to do your homework, because literally we can sell it to you for just a few cents more than a bullion coin, and a lot of it gets marketed. There's only 400 of them. Well, it says on the holder it's 1 of 400 or 2 of 400, I hate to tell you this, but the grading service will put anything on the holder that you ask them to. So I'm not sure what 1 of 400 means. Every once in a while, that means they only made 400. Every once in a while, it also means that the dealer gave them 400 coins and asked them to put 1 of 400 on the list, on the label.
Wait till the Carl Ladas hoard comes out. That's going to be a big seller.
Oh, that's my favorite. I'm just looking at, and I'm not going to name them because I don't feel like getting sued or having to have Nick's lawyer respond to something I said on the radio. But I'm looking through this beautiful catalog, and they've got, this is one of the big things to watch out for. Save big on the Lone Star Morgan Silver Dollar find, scarce Carson City find. Everything's a hoard or a find. And you know what happens when you find coins? It means there's more of them all of a sudden. So every once in a while there's coins that were very scarce that all of a sudden become common. Just recently,
Central America.
Yeah, that's Central America. If you've been reading carefully, you find out, and not just in coin magazines, but Smithsonian, National Geographic, they've settled up all these lawsuits on the Central America. It was kind of a mess. And on top of that, the technology to go bring stuff off the ocean floor is such that they can go down there and scoop up things that nobody thought you could get at before. Well, the SS Central America, what do you think? We probably have bought $1 million worth of them in the last
least,
6 months, if not more.
At least because that one bar was almost, it was a
yeah. And
$250,000.
I just sold a really high quality MS66 with a CAC label on it for $26,000. Well, a week and a half ago, the population of those coins went up by 2,805 coins because they just found a whole bunch more. They just had them
How
certified.
many were before the 2,800?
It's 10 times as many graded uncirculated coins today as there were 2 months ago. And that same coin that I just sold for $26,000 about 6 weeks ago, the current bid on it's $7,750.
Ouch.
And
It was a good time to get out.
well, and to be honest with you, if you own one of those 1857S $20 coins, you're probably better to do something now, even though the prices are down and the population's up, because they're spending a lot of money to advertise these coins to sell what they have. And there will be people interested. And when they're out of coins and there's not spending money to advertise them, you can only imagine where the prices will be 2 years from now when they're done selling everything. But the other side is, I don't know if they've got more of these same coins. That was a really rare coin because 80% of that year's production went down on that ship, and that was verifiable. So
Yeah.
so all of a sudden you have a coin that went from being very scarce to not being so scarce, and you wonder why the price goes down. So that it's not a rare coin anymore. At least it's not as rare as it was. It's still a
I wonder
fairly
how many
rare
are
coin.
still down there, or how many they haven't released yet.
And there's a lot of other coins on that ship. It was literally tons of gold on that ship.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one of the things that's happening. It's kind of fun if you can get out ahead of it, but be careful. If you've been a coin collector, a coin investor, you're probably going to get a lot of phone calls on that coin right now, just because they have a lot of them to sell. Another thing that's going on in the coin market, for a long time, there's two different kinds of bids. There's a sight unseen bid, which if I hit somebody's sight unseen bid, they have to actually write me a check for that coin on that number. There's a sight seen bid, and one of the things when you go to sell coins, even when you're buying coins, people don't understand you have to navigate through those two things. And right now, silver coins that are toned coins with a lot of pretty color, if you've ever seen one, you'd know, but there are silver coins that have been stored in velvet cases, things like that. They'll have all the colors of the rainbow running through them.
Yeah,
Just
real pretty.
Spectacular coins.
Yeah.
And a coin like that can be worth, the sky is the limit. If somebody really likes it, they'll pay whatever it takes to get a coin like that. If you're buying one, be careful, because you don't want to be the guy that paid top dollar and wonder if it's going to keep going up. But if you're selling one, we can help you with that a lot. We've got great buyers on those coins that are interested and paying a lot of money sometimes for them.
Gotta be pretty though, because a lot of those tone coins it makes them uglier.
Yeah, well,
Get that
3
big
or 4
pink
years
one or
ago, you
something
couldn't
like that.
everyone
Everyone
wanted
wanted
white
white.
coins.
Yeah.
So it's just the market moves around all the time. It's changing, and that's the one constant. You can give us a call and ask us any questions you want at 800-221-7694. That's our office number. Thank you.
Once again, here's Nick Grovich.
Hi, it's Don Gause and Carl Ladas again. And we were talking during the break a little bit about when you get involved in this stuff, it's always a good idea to understand what you're trying to accomplish and really understand who you are. And we started talking about the difference between an investor and a collector, and then I kind of thought maybe we should also add a third category there, is basically an insurance buyer. And when I say insurance buyer, if you're getting into this stuff because you're worried about currency collapses and hedging currency, world turmoil, worst comes to worst, you need to be able to buy a bread with a hard asset like silver or gold. then you're an insurance buyer. And you should really understand that's what you are. And when you start to talk to a dealer, and if you're an insurance buyer and they start talking about rare coins, you should just hang up and move on, because as an insurance buyer, you should be buying things like old nickel or old dimes and quarters and half dollars that you can buy bread with, or silver eagles or gold eagles. You should keep it as simple as possible. We love platinum. It's not a good insurance policy. It's more of a bet on, that's more of an investor play. You're betting that it's undervalued. I personally think it's very undervalued, but you also need the world economy to improve and until everybody understands exactly how many lies they told in China and how bad it is over there. It's going to be a tough bet for the investor side of things, whether it's stocks or platinum, palladium, oil, any of that stuff's going to be a tough bet until this China thing gets figured out and everybody understands if they're moving forward again or if they're sliding backwards, because right now it feels like they're sliding backwards.
And we as a company, we tend to, of course, there's always the guy that just wants gold and he's stuck on gold, but we do a lot of diversification within the hedge. And I'll give you an example. Right now you probably want a little bit of all three metals in your portfolio. If you want to own a hedge, you'd have your gold, you'd have some silver that also works as a great hedge, but also is industrialized, and then platinum. The nice thing about platinum, remember, if you own metals, please, folks, just don't sock them away and forget about them. Like the Silver Eagle thing, stuff can come up. I mean, somebody might be sitting on a box of those Silver Eagles that Don talked about earlier that's full of those smaller planchets that the Eagles were struck on. Also, certain dates on certain coins can pop up where they were bought and sold as bullion, but then they develop into a collector coin. So you want to take a look at that. And then if you're mixing metals, you're looking at ratios. You're buying platinum today. That doesn't mean you're going to own platinum for the rest of your life. You're going to watch it and maybe trade it in for twice as much gold, versus, as you would have bought today. You buy a little platinum, you trade it in for twice as many ounces of gold as what you would have bought.
It's a patient way of investing. Yeah. Again, that's more of an investment strategy, but it's a patient way of investing. Right now, I mean, platinum is $230 less than gold. It's an industrial metal. In 2008, before everything fell apart, it was 3 times as much as gold. Now, am I going to tell you that it's going to be back to 3 times as much as gold? No, but
maybe. You
logically,
never know.
It could. I mean, logically, if and when the world economy, mainly car sales, start to go back up, and as you're reading the paper, we've had record car sales this year, but the problem is in Europe and China, they're still sucking wind. They're still in the doldrums. And when car sales worldwide pick up and they've got catalytic converters in them and platinum goes in it, platinum will probably be the metal that takes off the fastest. It is a rare metal. It is necessary if you want to be able to breathe your air, to have, pollution technology in there. And right now, the catalytic converter is the best thing they got. So you look at it that way. We've been had really good luck managing ratios with clients. I mean, we had a time in the last 3 years where we were able to give people, the gold-silver ratio was such that it made sense to sell all your gold and put it into silver. It almost feels like that right now, but not quite. I do have clients that believe that heavily. Mm-hmm. And then there's times where the gold-silver ratio is the other way, where silver's so expensive that you want to get out of your silver and end up with a bigger pile of gold. And one of the things a lot of dealers just want you to buy stuff and never think about it. Have you ever heard this from a salesman? You're buying it for your grandchildren. There's guys that advertise that. I've never. Yeah. In fact, Glenn Beck used to say, "I'm buying this stuff for my grandchildren. I'm never going to do anything with it." He was getting paid a lot of money to say that. But the honest answer is, there are times that, at $1,800, $1,900 gold, $100 gold, we were trying very hard to get our clients to take some money off the table. If we were wrong and it kept going up, we would have admitted we were wrong. But on the other side of the coin, a lot of our clients were making a lot of money in bullion right then. And they still, if you're looking at your gold as an insurance policy, 2 things. Do you need twice as much insurance when your gold is doubled, number one? And number 2, as you get older, honestly, you need less life insurance.
Yeah, you don't want to be overinsured.
Yeah.
You
So
put that money to use somewhere else.
you really should
Go on a
look at
trip.
all those things.
Pay
I
off
mean,
a credit card. something like
I've had Carl, you had an interesting conversation I overheard yesterday from a client saying, I think we have too much bullion. Aren't you supposed to have 10 or 20%?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know what the right number is.
No, most financial advisors are 5 to 15, 20%, somewhere in there. And the markets determine, how much you should have. Most of your mutual funds, there's some sort of gold as a hedge within the mutual fund. But we're not qualified to give you that answer. We just are going to take the conservative route. I've got a lot of people that come to us and say, hey, I've got $100,000 in the bank. I'm afraid the dollar is going to crash. I don't want to lose all that money. What do I want to buy gold. Well, is that all you owned? Yeah, the $100,000. Well, you might want to seek the advice of a financial advisor on that one, because you don't want to put all your eggs in any basket, whether it's gold or stocks or anything. You want to remain diversified. Nobody knows where things are going. That's the biggest key. A lot of guys are listening to Larry Edelson this morning, and I kind of like him. He's pretty good. He was calling for $700 or $800 gold a few months back, and he's changed his tune. Now he's looking for maybe $1,000 gold, but he remains pretty conservative. But he brought up a good point. There's a couple other guys out there that are looking at $200 or $300 gold. And his point was he doesn't ever think it's going to reach that low again, and neither do I. And the reason's primarily the world would have to be a utopia. There would have to be, everybody would have to have a job. You would have no terrorism, no crime. You're talking the perfect utopia for gold to drop that low. And I just don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately.
No, too many people make money in chaos.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But there's a lot of options out there. The other thing I see a lot of are guys that they're equivalent. Well, gold's up $10 today. Well, so what? You're buying a hedge. And too many of these guys will wait. I've got 3 clients right now that are sitting on the hook. Gold's been up the last 3 days. They should have just bought the day I talked to them first. When I told them I didn't know where gold was going, just buy and don't look backwards. We were under $1,100 an ounce at that point.
Well, theoretically, we're heading towards 1130, which is the next.
Is that the next support level?
Yeah, that's what you want to break through to see if it's real. And the last couple of years, we've sort of been going between about $120 range. And it just hasn't been able to sustain it. We'll see if it breaks through this time. If I knew for sure, I'd be a very wealthy guy.
You wouldn't be on the radio show?
No, I'd probably be on an island somewhere.
On an island.
My wife would like it that much better. So, one of the things we didn't mention is the investor, the collector side of things. And one of the things I wanted to say is, if you want to be a collector, the truly rare coins are fun, but not many people can afford to do that kind of stuff. If you want to be a collector, find something you're interested in. Find something that you think you have a chance to have some fun with, and don't let anybody tell you you're nuts. Just do your own thing. If there's something that you're interested in, let us know. We buy millions of dollars worth of coins every month, and there are a lot of fun coins that would be fun to collect that come through our offices that we really don't really know what to do with. I'd love to put it in a collector's hands for a fair price.
That's the thing. There's so many rare coins out there now that are just really cool, historically significant, actual rare coins that have dropped so much in price. If you're a new collector or wanting to get involved, you can get into some really neat stuff where we don't see a whole lot of downside risk anymore because they've gone down 80%. So there's a lot of neat areas you can get into if you are interested from a collector's standpoint.
Again, having good advice and buying at the right price is pretty crucial on that stuff.
Absolutely.
So the one thing I wanted to point out is, Carl and I have laughed about this a few times, but PCGS puts out a thing, the top 25 performing coins. And when I say do your own thing, enjoy yourself as a collector, you look at this list of coins, of the top 25 performing coins, there is nothing on this list that anyone would have bought from, especially any of the big national coin dealers. And probably there's very few things on this list that a reputable dealer probably would have recommended to somebody 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Some of the best coins in performance are a 37D penny and MS67 red.
Throw a dart in the dark at a dartboard.
And who knew? a 1940 penny. I mean, and the reason that they've done well is these are coins at that grade that there's only one or two of them at that grade. So if you want to have the finest known set, you're going to have to pay for it. But the guys that found these things probably bought them for very little money, had a lot of fun doing it, and all of a sudden find themselves probably with the right dealer that said, hey, we need to have this thing graded. I think you might have something special here. So, I mean, here there's a 1975 D penny and MS67 Plus. There's two been
Did you say
graded.
75?
75.
Oh.
You know, in my lifetime, I could have gone to a bank and gotten a roll of those.
Yeah, no kidding.
It sold for $4,100.
Unbelievable.
It's just nutty. So I mean, if you're having fun and you're doing your own thing, don't let
never
anybody
know.
tell you you're nuts.
Yeah.
You can call us anytime. We'll give you the number when we come back. Thanks.
Once again, here's Nick Grovich.
Hi, Carl Ladas and Don Gause filling in for Nick Grovich today. I just was given a little update here. On December, it was December 24th. I think that was last Thursday. That was Christmas Eve. We replayed an old show because everybody was obviously with their families. But I wanted to announce that Charles in Pennsylvania won a Silver Eagle. He was the closest the week prior to that Wednesday prior on the close of gold. But Charles in Pennsylvania for the week before last, and Ron in California of this week, both won Silver Eagles on our website. You can get on the website. A lot of great information. It's www.americanfederal.com. And you can also sign up for see if you can guess the closest to the close of gold and win yourself a Silver Eagle. If you hit it spot on, you win a $5 Gold Eagle, which is really cool. We've only had a few people do that, though. But also, we've got our seminar coming up on Wednesday, February 10th at the Doubletree Resort in Scottsdale. We're advertising this seminar statewide, so it will fill up fast. There are limited seats. Please give the office a call at 480-553-5282 or our 800 number. It's 800-221-7694. And I believe you can sign up for the seminar on our website. Again, it's americanfederal.com. Enough of the homework, housekeeping stuff. We were at the breakdown, and I were talking about, all kinds of things, talking about salesmen, talking about who you're talking to on the phone. A lot of these guys, they're just salesmen. You got to be careful trying to get a hold of somebody that actually knows coins and do your homework. I was thinking, if a customer just spent an hour or two on the internet, not looking at coin dealer websites, but just Googling different types of coins, U.S. gold, for example, learn about it, learn about the grading, you probably would know more than the guy selling you the coins at one of these big places on just by spending a couple hours on online looking up stuff. But there's a couple of different publications you can get. Don's going to discuss those right now to arm yourself with the information you really need if you are considering buying any type of a semi-rare or rare coin.
Yeah, the biggest one I would tell you is www.graysheet.com. It's the gray sheet and the blue sheet, certified coin dealer newsletter and coin dealer newsletter. And they give you an idea of what coins trade between dealers at. And you can keep in mind what you think is a fair markup for everyone and be real careful. There are some traps in there, especially on the gray sheet. We talked about sight unseen versus sight seen bids. And
what's a trap coin, Don?
Off the top of my head, I have a hard time bringing up a number.
Not just any particular coin, but you'll see
what you'll have is I've got a client who's got a coin that the sight unseen bid's about $7,500 on. It's been $7,500 for years. The first time I met him, that was the only coin he showed me, and I offered him $15,000 for that coin. Well, the sight seen bid on it was $35,000 at the time, and he paid $35,000 for it. Of course, I was giving him some pretty bad news. He was in a little bit of a shock. A year or two later, I bought all of his coins other than that one coin. He's in bullion with everything else. This was long enough ago that even with the price of gold and silver being down, he's still making money. Less than he was at 1800, but still making money. And, right now, the sight unseen bid's still $7,500. The sight seen bid's $40,000. I'd still love to buy that coin back from him, but I have never been able to find a buyer at more than $7,500
remember,
since then.
Sight seen, you can place a bid for whatever you want on a coin. And it's sight seen, which means you can refuse that coin. You don't have to pay that if somebody shows up with one. You can refuse it.
You
for
don't even
any
have
reason.
to give a good reason. Yeah.
A lot of times, the guy that's putting out the bid actually owns the coin. Okay, and he can show his customers. I mean, I'm just telling you some of the inner workings. Not every dealer operates this way. Obviously, there's a lot of really good, honest dealers out there, but you have to be careful. That's why we also use what's called the blue sheet. And sometimes you'll see tens of thousands of dollars difference between sight seen and sight unseen. What's the coin really worth? Probably somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle. And it takes a little bit of work, a little bit of marketing. And we've discussed on the show in the past the CAC and the plus values that are new, where that you basically have either the grading service or Certified Acceptance Corporation basically saying that for the grade it's like a 65.5 to 65.9. So it's at the top of the grade level. It didn't just barely eke over the grade. And one of my concerns is, 10 years from now is anyone going to buy the coins that are 0.1 to or 0 to 0.4 or 0.5? Are they only going to want the top of the line graded coins?
That's funny because if you think about it, let's say you've got a bunch of rare coins. You've got some that are graded, they're overgraded. Mm-hmm. Okay, you've got some that are graded spot on, and a bunch that are maybe a little bit undergraded. Well, those undergraded ones are going to get the extra, accreditation from CAC,
right?
Certified. The ones in the middle are going to stay the same grade. They might try to get them upgraded here and there, but typically they'll just remain the same grade. Those two areas will end up in collectors' hands or knowledgeable buyers' hands. A little tongue-tied there. But if you think about it, all the overgraded coins, they're never getting sent to CAC. The collectors aren't buying them because they look like garbage. And
they're getting sold
where are they
to
going
investors / collectors
investors that don't know,
that don't understand the market.
Yeah.
And by guys that move a lot of coins and can buy a coin that the gray sheet might be $20,000 and they can buy it for 10. Mm-hmm. Because it's not that great a coin and everyone's having a hard time selling it.
Yeah.
So, and then they go out and tell you that the gray sheet's just what they pay for it, and they charge you $25 for it because they need to make their markup.
Ask them to see the blue sheet.
Yeah, that's where you get in trouble, and that's where understanding the market is, and it's just like any collectible. If you fall in love with something, heaven help you. I've done it myself in areas where I consider myself fairly knowledgeable at a few things, and every once in a while you overpay because you just like it so darn much. So,
the nice thing about the gray sheets, I was just thinking, you can if you get online, what are they, $5 a copy, or you can buy a subscription.
You can buy them online for $5. If you're really serious, it's like $80 every 6 months. You can save that with one coin purchase.
But the neat thing about it is you can buy backdated issues. You can literally go back to the 60s if you wanted to and look up and try to figure out what the gray sheet and blue sheet numbers were of your particular coin that you bought on that day. And you can kind of compare it to what you paid for it and see if you were treated fairly or not.
And I don't know what fair is, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because like I said, if Nick starts to say that a certain type of coin is the coin to own, I guarantee it'll go up 15% in 6 months if we start to sell just a few of them. Because the dealers that have those coins will start to hone in that we're the buyer, and they'll ask us to pay more. And it's really easy to get a market. Well, it's not real easy, but it's not hard to get a market to start to roll. We've seen some of the big dealers do that over and over again, where they've double and triple the value of certain coins. And
we used to have a program where we would take advantage of those. Yeah,
we used to do that for clients a lot. The problem is that some of these big dealers, they're charging enough of a markup that even though they doubled the price of the coins, their clients are just barely making money, and they never tell their clients to sell because who's they're the market.
Yeah.
So unless they've got
2.5
10 orders for every coin they can lay their hands on, they're not going to be buying them back from their own clients. And it becomes a little bit of a pyramid scheme. And there's a couple of big dealers that have been really successful at doing that in the past that are not having very much luck right now. And part of it is when they ran those bids up, they found more coins. Because when bids go up, it's like I'm talking about this 98 Silver Eagle. We're going to look at every, we're going to look at every 98 Silver Eagle we see probably for the next 5 years looking for one of those. And we're going to be encouraging our clients to look too. And so you're going to have more of them coming onto the market if there are more. And on a lot of this stuff, there's a lot more than you think there is.
Time will tell.
So that's it for today. Went pretty quickly. Just call us at the office, 800-221-7694 if you have any questions. Thank you.